We pulled together this graduate certificate program as a 12-credit program. Students can jump in at any time. We're on rolling admissions. You might take one class a semester and you could finish it in 4 semesters. You might take 2 classes, finish it in 2 semesters. So faculty are very excited about providing those really meaningful, rich experiences to the students. They've all done qualitative research. They all have many years experience teaching qualitative research. Everybody's really enthusiastic to be able to offer this. Once you complete this program, students know how to conduct interviews successfully. They come out of the courses in the program having practical, real-world experience at every phase of the research process, and they're really equipped to systematically answer questions about what's going on and what are people's experiences in whatever setting they're interested in exploring. It's really very interdisciplinary, and that's one of its strengths. You can mix and match and find exactly the curriculum that's going to meet your needs.